Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Come and play with us, Daddy.
What's going on, peeps? Welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. My name is Braden.
I'm Destiny.
And we are the Fear Freaks. This week, we are talking about our top 10 Christmas horror movies that we watch throughout the Christmas and holiday season. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all you guys. This is the final stream pre-holiday and everything. So I know that tomorrow night the festivities are going to start commencing. It is going to be the 22nd of December. A lot of people just consider literally Christmas just to be from the 22nd all the way through the 25th. So it's just going to be 3 straight days of celebrating the holiday. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. So, Destiny, what do you got planned for this weekend? What's going on with you? What are you doing for Christmas?
On Christmas Eve, we're going to my dad's side of the family around 1. And then later that evening, we're going to go to my mom's side of the family, celebrate as a, the whole family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas Day, we're going to go back to my mom's house for breakfast like we always do and open our gifts there. So
fun. That sounds like a ton of fun. I mean, this weekend is just so much bouncing around between just family stuff, and it's going to be crazy. I don't even really know what the full game plan is for this weekend yet. I know what we're doing. I don't know what time. I don't know how long, but it's going to be quite a weekend. And for everyone in the chat, I hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday week once we are done here tonight. But what's going on, guys? I see we got some people here in the chat. Lamontre, Twin City, Brettman, Russell, and Sebastian. What's going on? How you guys doing? Destiny, got anything in your world of horror this week? Anything that you did horror-wise, while preparing for the top 10 that you watched throughout the holidays?
I did watch 3 of these movies that I recently watched are Christmas horror, but none of them are on my list, but that's fine. But first, I watched Sally.
Sally.
I watched it.
Sally, yeah. Bat Productions. What did you think? And honestly, you can give everyone is watching. Now give an honest review. What did you think of Sally? Be honest.
I really did enjoy it. I found it pretty creepy. If I had any complaints, and maybe it's because I'm a little biased, maybe I'm a little biased. Wasn't a fan of the look of Sally, I would say. I didn't really like the face that much.
Okay.
But I found it to be effective. I would say about halfway through whenever I was watching it. Because I feel like whenever I watch these things that y'all do, I'm so aware that y'all made it, I did that with Haddonfield Nightmare. I was I knew Braden directed this, but then while watching Sally, I forgot that for a second, and I was watching it, and I was oh, that's actually creepy. The house is really cool. I really like the house. Don't know who the fuck would actually move in there, but I was okay, but the house is scary. There's one part where you see Sally for a second, and it's fast. I kind of wish it was slow instead of super quick. I think it would have been creepy to slowly move back. And what else? Yeah, I found it to be creepy. Pretty the atmosphere was really good. The color grading was really good, and the sound design and the score, all of that was really good. So I really did like it. Good job.
Good. I'm glad that you very much enjoyed it, and I'm glad to know that this time around you were actually able to shut your brain off and be you know what? Holy shit, Braden actually directed this, and it wasn't in the back of your mind oh well, Braden directed this.
That's not. I'm just saying. It's I feel like I'm just so aware that y'all are hands-on for this, but with this I wasn't really like that. And I was just kind of taking it in, and I was wow, that was actually pretty spooky. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Cool.
And if there's ever a future film
Yeah. Hey, okay. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now, people. I'm going to say it literally genuinely right now that Destiny was actually my first choice for Sally. I don't know if I've ever said that on the stream. I don't know if like that's been public knowledge. Destiny was my first choice to play Sally. I approached her. I was like, "Hey, you would be great in this." She like her and I literally went back and forth on a conversation, and like literally like she was like saying that she just crawls around for fun. I'm like, you're fucking perfect for this role. So because I know that, I mean, and I love the girl that, you know, we got to play her. You know, I'm not gonna lie, when her headshot like came into my email, I was just like, holy shit, okay, like this definitely looks like an alternative, like, you know, actress that we can utilize. And she's in the Chicago area and everything. So it made sense. But like in terms of what I feel like that she was a little nervous to, and this is nothing against her. I understand, like I wanted Sally to be like more like crawling down the stairs and everything. So we can add more of like the bone cracks. But obviously, like, you know, we needed to be careful with that. So, and again, I love the girl that does play Sally. She is absolutely amazing. But I did approach Destiny initially to play the role of Sally in the movie. So maybe in the future, maybe we'll see. We'll see. We are also getting asked right now: is Destiny going to make a cameo in the final Nightmare? So, you know, I will also say that's another production that we're trying to find a way to get her involved with to a degree.
Yes,
So,
and it's not that I don't want to. Trust me.
yeah.
Me play a scary villain that gets to be like crawling around like this. Like I love that shit, and I would have loved to do it. It's just I am fucking scared of flying. That is like
Yeah.
my biggest fear, and it's something I really need to work on. And if it wasn't for that, I would have been there. That's the only thing that is stopping me, or else I would have been there. I would have
Yeah.
done the makeup. I would have went down those stairs. Even if I got hurt, I would have been all down them stairs. But and
No.
there was like one shot, even though like I wasn't a big fan of the way like the makeup looked. There's one shot where she like looks over, and I was like, that was good. I still think she did a great job. It was just
Yeah.
the makeup I wasn't
No,
super
I
huge
mean,
on.
I mean it. She really did do a great job. She was a lot of fun to work with. Everybody had a great week. If you've seen, honestly, there's going to be some behind the scenes that's added to the Blu-ray that like is really just going to be like we were documenting like us at breakfast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even going to lie, like people are going to watch those behind the scenes and they're going to be like, there is no chance, not a chance that these people made this movie. Like, because it's just us dicking around. It's the behind the scenes of the actresses and the actors and the crew. We're all just sitting at breakfast. Literally, at one point, you just see Zach and one of our production assistants literally take a thing of cream, of coffee creamer, and they do shots of coffee cream just for fun. Like, that's all going to be in the behind the scenes of us making Sally. So, you know, it's fun, but
Oh my god. Bailey's
going on?
laughing loud as fuck. Also, I thought Sam, the girl that played Sam, I thought she was great too. Because like I feel like a lot of time when you watch sort of like lower budget stuff, the characters don't feel real, you know, like genuine. But there's parts with her, even though like it's so short and it's only like there's like little character moments that it's like that feels like a real person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also appreciated that because I feel like a lot of times when you watch lower budget stuff or like fan films and stuff, it takes you out because the acting is not always there.
Mm-hmm.
But with her, I thought she did really good. And do you know the band Little Mix by chance?
I've heard of them. I'm not familiar with them.
She looks so similar to Perry Edwards. She's one of the singers in Little Mix. She looks so much like her. And I was like, holy shit. So I kept looking at her. I was like, damn, that looks so much like Perry Edwards. Also, I feel like the little girl was like maybe a little too old. I think it would have been scary if she was like younger. But also, I know it's kind of hard to get child actors and actresses and stuff like that because there are like regulations against shit like that. So I still thought she did great too. But,
yeah, I will say, like, we got lucky with like just how awesome Nixon and her mom were because like obviously there's like changes that are like made throughout the week and there are just so many really fun stories that we could tell about what happened on set. It could really be a whole stream like itself. Like honestly, maybe it would probably make them very happy if like we did like an interview with them in a couple weeks. Like if we wanted to do that maybe for the start of January. I do know Adrian is releasing the original soundtrack on Spotify and Apple Music on the 6th. So maybe the first week of January or the second week we can do it. Because I think first week we should do top 10 horror of 23 that we're looking for. And then maybe we can get them on. I think that would be kind of fun to have them on the show. So we could definitely plan that. But okay, only thing that really is going on in my world of horror this week is I watched Christmas Bloody Christmas. And that's pretty much it. I'd say that's something. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy it. I had a fun time with it. It might even be on, I added it to my list only because I feel like this is going to be one that I will watch now at least once a year. I'll give some comments on it when we get to it. But, with that being said, let's jump right into the,
hold on.
Yo, what's up?
I was not done with mine.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
We just talked so much about Sally.
Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
run through them really quick.
5-star,
okay.
What's going on, buddy? Atanas, how you doing? And Gory, I didn't say hi to you yet. What's going on? And
hi,
Ashton
everyone.
And Byron. Hi, everyone. How you guys doing?
Okay, really quick. Friday was the last drive-in, the Ghoul Tide like hangout for the last drive-in. I didn't get to watch both movies because I fucking fell asleep as I usually do. And I wanted to watch the second movie today, but with that episode, it's like 3 hours long, and I just didn't have time before the stream. So I'm going to watch that over the weekend, though. But I did watch the first movie, which was Don't Open Till Christmas. It's an 80s Christmas slasher set in London, which is pretty cool because I feel like I don't see a lot of, like, slashers in London. And, like, it was kind of bad, but in, like, for me, a fun, cheesy 80s way, like, the acting wasn't great. The story wasn't great. The effects were okay, but it just kind of made like a good, bad sort of fun movie. So I'll probably make that like a yearly watch. Like I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 out of 5. Yesterday I watched a movie called Body, which is on Tubi. It's like an hour and like 15 minutes long, and it is set during Christmas, but it's not necessarily like all about Christmas. Like it's sort of just like the backdrop of the story, and it's sort of like I Know What You Did Last Summer in a way, to where something accidentally happens and then everything that they try to do to fix it only makes it worse, and it just keeps getting more like fucked up throughout the movie. So I recommend that one. It's pretty short. It goes by fast, and I think the 3 main girls, they are like likable until they're not, you know? And I watched another short yesterday because I saw a TikTok about it, and I was like, okay, it's called Other Side of the Box. You can find it on YouTube. Again, it's like probably 10 minutes long, but it's actually pretty effective. Like, the story is so like, this guy gets a box, okay? He gets a box.
Can I just acknowledge this? 5, I could see your comments right now. I could see your comments. No, you were not banned. I don't know why. I have no idea why the comments are coming up, but I can see your comments. Like, can you all see my chat comments? Yes, I can see them right now.
You're good.
You are good. So I know YouTube is getting a little bit more strict though. Like if you say anything, it's like I don't even know. Like the comment will like be hidden and it might put you in timeout. I never put you in timeout, so. It could just be like a YouTube thing. I don't fucking know, but it's being weird. Sorry, Destiny, go on.
Other Side of the Box. Again, set during Christmas. A man receives a Christmas gift from a guy, and the box is like the void.
Ooh.
And some shit happens. So I definitely recommend that. Like I said, it's like 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and it's actually pretty like effective in like what it's doing so fast. So I definitely recommend that. And then a movie I watched today, which was just released on Shudder, again, Christmas horror, but not really, but it is. It's called The Apology. I don't think it's like anything too crazy or like too out there. I gave it like 3 out of 5. stars, but like I feel like it's a little bit predictable when you can put the pieces together like early on, but the story itself is so like dark and fucked up, and it's so like upsetting. Like there's a part of it where like I almost get a little bit teary-eyed because it is so upsetting like what had happened. So I recommend that one. It's like an hour and a half. So it goes by pretty fast, and like it looks great and it's well acted, and it's really only a couple people that like carry the whole movie. It's like a really like confined story. So I definitely recommend that one as well. And that was it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, Tubi's got some pretty good stuff on there. I'm not gonna lie, like it really does. I'm like looking at it, and I'm just like, wow, I almost can't believe that this is like a free streaming service. I know that there's like ads and stuff that are included, and that's where they make
The
their
free
money.
part.
But you know, still pretty cool that that's kind of becoming up there. I also know I didn't even know fucking Freebie was a thing. That was like when that was I was watching the first Terrifier back when we were getting ready to talk about that in October, and I was looking to see where that was, and I was like, oh shit, it's on Freebie. What the fuck is Freebie? And it's through Amazon. I was like, nice, that's kind of cool. It's got ads, but they leave all the gore and everything in there, which obviously just makes it better. It's not like it's not like a TV movie or anything. Because Terrifier, I'm sorry, if Terrifier was just like a TV, it would suck. If it was on AMC Fear Fest and they like had to cut out everything, it would suck. It'd be awful. Like it would be unwatchable because the gore is what a lot of people are there for, right? So, speaking of gore, alrighty, I'm sure we're gonna get some gory options here in our top 10 Christmas horror films. So. Destiny, kick us off with your numero 10 for what you watch around the Christmas season.
Well, do you have any honorable mentions?
I don't do honorable mentions with this. I get right into it. Give us your honorable mentions. Let's hear it.
Okay, I do.
I know you do. We know.
I only have 3. Last time because I spouted off like probably like 7 extra movies. This time I only have 3, so I'll keep it short. I have Silent Night, which is like the remake / reboot of Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think this movie looks awesome. The Christmas vibes are there. The kills are great. I think it really loses me in the third act. Like it gets a little bit too twisty, and I'm like, oh, I don't care anymore. But I think the first like 2/3 of the movie are really great and well acted. I also have Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I didn't put it on my top 10 just because it is so new to me, but I like the characters. I think the cussing could have been toned down a little bit, but the kills were great. I found the main final girl to be pretty likable and not in your traditional final girl way, which I do like seeing final girls that aren't the girl next door type. Like I like, because I feel like that's more realistic. And the Killer Santa was really cool because we always see like a human form of a Killer Santa, but never like an animatronic. So I found that to be pretty cool. And my last one, well, actually, I'll have 2 more. My third one is Krampus. I'm not as big on Krampus as like a lot of people are. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think this movie could have really used like a rated R cut, and I do know there's like the naughty cut out there, which I haven't watched. I want to because I think that would have definitely helped the movie, and I like the way the movie ends because it can go like different ways, so I appreciate that. And I didn't include this on my top 10 because it is just like a TV episode from Tales from the Crypt, but all through the house, that is hands down my favorite episode of Tales from the Crypt. I watched that show a lot as a kid with my aunt, and that's like one of the only episodes I can really remember watching because you have, I think his name is Larry Drake. He's in like Dark Knight of the Scarecrow and I think a Batman movie or something, and The Dentist, or no, Dr. Giggles. He's Dr. Giggles in Dr. Giggles. He plays, in my opinion, the scariest Killer Santa. He is so scary in that role, and it's short because it's just like a little TV episode, and you can find it on YouTube. That's where I watched it more recently. But I still find it to be really effective, and I still think he is the scariest Killer Santa in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got those. I'm curious to see what's in your top 10 then, like, because a couple of those are in my top 10. So I'm curious to see. Like, I mean, with me, like, I feel like there needs to be more Christmas horror, like, out, like, I feel like that's something that needs to I think it needs to be more of a thing. Because I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know if there's a whole lot out there that I just haven't seen, or if
See, I
there's just
feel
like,
like that's what it is. I feel like there is so much out there that's just not talked about.
yeah,
Like Body. I had no idea that was a movie until I watched a channel called Spooky Astronauts. I love her. And she mentioned it in a video she put out yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, like what is this?" And she said like the runtime, and I was like, "Oh, I'll check that out." And that's a movie I had never heard of before. So I feel like there's more out there, but it's not like Christmas is the main focus of the movie, you know?
gotcha. Okay.
So, and like I feel like a lot of these Christmas movies, it's like always like a killer Santa sort of thing. So I feel like if it's not a killer Santa or like a Krampus or something like that, I feel like they're not as talked about. And
Yeah.
I feel like there there has to be so much more out there that it's
Actually,
just like
I guess one that I could include in, honestly, I was thinking about this movie the other day. If I had an honorable mention that I have seen in the past that I remember being kind of fun, it's ridiculous, but it's fun, is the Jack Frost movies, like the snowman. No, I mean the first one. The second one I know is terrible, but the first one, I'm not gonna lie, I did have fun with growing up, and I actually have a very funny story with that one. And it's that my mom, she used to work at Robert Morris, and she brought home. It was the holiday season. She brought home this fucking movie, thinking it was like the Michael Keaton, like, kid friendly one. But the fucking cover is like Jack Frost, and he's got the sharp teeth and everything. I'm like, how the fuck did you think that this was the Michael Keaton family friendly Jack Frost? Like, she was like, I mean, I have no idea. I was like, I have no idea either. Like, but we turned it on, and it was incredibly, like, there was an incredibly brutal scene that happened. And she was like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah. Like, so that's my experience with that movie. And yeah, so honorable mention just because I remember watching that like for the first time. So I know it's absolutely ridiculous. But all right, Destiny, what you got for number 10?
my number 10 is Jack Frost.
No shit.
It is.
That is so funny.
It is. I love this movie except for one scene. One scene that really bothers me, and especially because it wasn't the original plan for the scene, and then afterwards they're like, this kind of looks like this, we should make it that, and it is Shannon Elizabeth's scene in the bathtub. That was not what was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen, which is what we still see, is her being like banged against the wall, but it wasn't supposed to be a rape scene, like at all. That's not what it was supposed to be. And even the director himself said like if he can go back, he would not have added like those one-liners because that's what really, and the carrot knows obviously, but he's like, if I could go back, I would not have included that because he said because he was like young, he kind of felt pressured and just kind of like went along with like whatever. But for like how low budget it is and how like silly and goofy it is, like I just have a good time with it, except for that scene. It's so over the top and like a lot of the one-liners are just so ridiculous that I can't help but laugh. And I watched this for the first time on the last drive-in for like their Red Christmas sort of special, and I just really enjoyed it. And like if I ever need sort of like a comfort Christmas movie, I will put on Jack Frost because it's just so stupid, but in like all the best ways, in my opinion.
So Jack Frost comes in at number 10 for you. Honorable mention for me. I mean, like, I know that there's like a whole different way that we can put these orders and everything. These are just 10 that I come up with, but these are also like based on enjoyment and everything. Number 10 on my list is Silent Night, Deadly Night. I love the first one. I know that this is one of those Christmas horror franchises that kind of became a franchise after the first one. I mean, I really enjoy this movie. I like the slasher element of it. I'm a big slasher guy, as all of you pretty much know. I've watched this every single year, like, pretty much since I was a kid. I haven't watched it this year yet, though. So this weekend, I actually got to turn it on and, have it on at least in the background because this is one of my favorite Christmas horror films. This was based on a concept. I believe it was written by like a Harvard student. I think I have it written here in a note I was taking. One of the short stories was based on He Sees You When You're Sleeping. And then the screenplay was accepted by a producer. And like, that's like what one of the adaptions was from. But I do like the idea of an orphan growing up and becoming a version of Santa and going around and, slaughtering people. It's that I like it a lot. So Silent Night, Deadly Night is my numero 10.
Nice.
Good Reel, the mean one will make y'all's list someday. Now, I have not seen that yet. I know it was playing in a few theaters around me. I was going to go see it the weekend it came out. I was busy though, so I couldn't. But yeah, I definitely plan on seeing that. And I'm sure David Howard Thornton absolutely killed it as the mean one. So
Yeah, there's two newer movies that I really wanted to see that I didn't get to, and that would be The Mean One and also Violent Night. I want to see Violent Night so bad, and I know it's available for streaming now and it's still playing in theaters. Because I know if I would have seen that, that would have made my list. I can like guarantee it. Because David Harbour as Santa, a sexy Santa.
hey, dude is big sexy in that movie. Big sexy. I mean it.
That man, he's all over my TikTok, and I am loving every second of it. So that is definitely one I will be watching pretty soon.
God
and if I would have seen it before,
fucking
the
sex bots. The sex bots are back.
69 mega.
69mega.com. Stop watching the stream. Find love.
Hey, no.
Hey,
Hey.
That's
Don't
not
say
how
that.
you treat the fear freaks.
Don't say that.
Y'all don't say that.
You don't say that. What are we on? My number 9, right?
Numero 9.
Yes, my number 9. I have Black Xmas, 2006 version of Black Christmas.
Okay.
This movie, again, the Christmas vibes are there. This is like probably one of the most Christmassy feeling movies I have on my list because there's lights everywhere, all the decorations, the cast. Oh my God. This cast is so amazing because it is so 2000s. You have so many people in it. And like this is a movie I didn't watch until probably like 2 years ago for the first time. And I'm surprised I hadn't seen it before. Like it just completely like slipped my radar growing up, I guess. Because I knew I would have loved this movie growing up. Again, there's a scene that we did not need for the movie, and it definitely takes things too far. And the side plot of Agnes is just like, what the fuck? I know they wanted to do something different because this movie is pretty different from the original with sort of the same concept. Did not need that whatsoever. Watching it, I was like, because then the other day at work, I was sort of like putting my list together at work and everything. And then my coworkers were talking about Black Xmas. And I was like, are y'all talking about like the 2006 one, right? Not like the original. They're like, it's a scene where with the mom and the son. I was like, yeah, that is the 2006 one. Yeah. Besides that, I do think the movie's well acted. The kills are great. The skin cookies make me sick to my stomach. So yeah, I think this movie's pretty, like, I feel like it wasn't until Black Christmas 2019 that Black Xmas gained new appreciation. I've liked this movie since I've seen it. I never thought it was bad. Like, no, is it as good as the original? No. There are people that do prefer it because it is so different and it feels so of its time. But I think Black Xmas is just, it's a lot of fun. Oh, and you have the original girl from the original movie. Not Olivia Hussey, even though the sister cameo, when, you know, she pops up in the house and everyone's like looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard that was supposed to be Olivia Hussey in that. And I really wish it was her because that would have just made it, you know, that whole grand reveal of a sister that's like, who is this woman? Like, we don't know her. If it was Olivia Hussey, oh my god, that would have been amazing, but she was not in it, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's a good time, and it's one I like to watch every year, and like I watched it for my birthday one year with my friends, so
Yeah.
definitely a fun one.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree. That's on my list a little higher, but yeah, let's
Spoilers.
yeah, spoiler alert. What are we on, number 9?
Yes.
Okay, number 9 for me is going to I just watched this today, I know, but Christmas Bloody Christmas. Gotta say, this is actually going to be one that I watch every single year now. Again, like when it comes down to like Christmas horror, like I watch the Black Christmas and all that stuff. Silent Night, Deadly Night, like I said, at number 10. But like this is actually one that I feel will be on my list from here on out. Very, very entertaining. I will say within like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and the like F word was said literally over 100 fucking times. Over 100 times. I just said it, I know. For emphasis. Because it was every other line. I thought Rob Zombie was bad with the fuck word, but like that was like, whoa. I literally texted Destiny today. I'm like, hey, yo, I'm like, this writer just absolutely loves this word, huh? Because it's every other word. And it's like the first, like, also within the first 10 minutes, all they're talking about is sex and how she's going to hook up with this guy. And then her friend is literally like trying to like hit on her, like her coworker, because she's the boss and everything. There's a whole conversation about that. And I'm like, how much fucking longer is this scene gonna fucking be? Like, can we just, if they're gonna fuck, can we just get them to fucking, please? Like, do we really? They do. They definitely do. But, well, to a degree, right? He goes down on her.
He goes, dude. Okay, there's
goes
a voice
down.
There's a voice recording because me, Mia, Victoria, and Winter, we have like a group chat, and we're doing like funny impressions and stuff. And I'm watching this movie like in the background, and in my thing, and I was like, oh my god, he is eating her out. And they're like, what the fuck? And I was like, it is the movie. And which I like them so much though. Like I thought they were like so cute because okay, I read a lot of fan fiction, okay? And my favorite stories are the like friends to lovers. I eat that shit up, and that's what this was. It's almost, they're not like enemies, but you know, they're not like besties. So it's like a little bit of like enemies to friends to lovers, all within like such a short period of time.
Yeah.
So I thought they were so cute. Like I really did like them a lot, like as a little couple for like what we see of them. I thought they were really likable. They do cuss a lot.
They do.
Lot.
They definitely do. A lot. But I mean, it's really cool to like see them from, you know, the shop to the toy store. I mean, there's 2 eat out scenes in like also within a span of like 20 minutes. It's like the one dude is eating the front. The other dude at the toy store goes right for the back. Like, I'm just like, God damn. Like, I'm like, gee.
They really get into it.
I honestly was like, I actually had to rewind it because I was like, did I just hear that correctly? And then, because I just thought, I'm like, no. This man is just going right into it. So, you know, but, and then after that, we see like the Santa. I like how he just kind of like comes to life. We get that classic POV vibe and everything of him like walking through the store. Definitely classic horror vibes. So I did very much enjoy that. I like the biggest surprise of this movie, for me at least, I wasn't sure how over the top it was going to be until Tori was looking out the window across this house when she sees this Santa for the first time. And I'm sorry, chat, I'm going to say a spoiler. So if you guys, you know, haven't seen this for whatever reason, but literally kills the freaking kid. I was like, okay. I was like, Jesus.
Okay.
I was like, what?
Continuing with the spoiler. Not only does this kid get killed, the guy then uses the dead kid's body as like a shield. I was like, oh my god, they are fucking going for it. This movie has balls.
I'm not gonna. That's honestly why I feel like I had as much fun with this movie as I did, because I'm like, they really did not hold back on anything. It was and also I did like that because it's not like it's Michael Myers or a human form of Jason, like pre-zombie Jason. It's genuinely a robot. So it's like the robot doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, yep, this is what I'm doing. Like, I mean, and the kid's like, mommy, wham! I'm like,
fucking,
the whole thing. Tori's like, Jesus, like I think someone just killed the kid next door. I don't even know how to like act if I saw that. And then they look again, dude is looking straight across at them. I'd be running too. And then it just even worse. Breaks that one girl's freaking neck. The whole thing is just insane. Had a lot of fun with this movie. This is definitely my number 9 and one I will be watching every single year. Love it.
Yeah, and I know this movie is definitely like a mixed bag. Like I looked at the reviews on Letterboxd. Like I know Brandon was not a fan of it. I'm seeing half stars, 1 stars, and I gave it either 3.5 or 4. Like I love the color palette, like especially towards the end. There's a lot of red and greens, and like it just like doesn't let up. And it has Jeff Daniel Phillips in it, which that man is so fine in like such a weird way, but I love him.
Who?
You see him in
Which one? I'm sorry.
Jeff Daniel Phillips. He's one of like the cops. He's in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. He has like 2 roles.
Yeah, the one with the is he the one with the mustache?
Yeah, he's like the nicer cop to her, not the one. Yeah, the one that she sees like at the bar for a little bit.
Yeah, the one that got his head smashed in Halloween 2, right?
Yeah, and he plays like the singer with the sharp teeth at the little bar or the barn scene and stuff.
Yeah,
he was in it, so I was excited to see him. Wish we'd have saw more, but I didn't think he would have a huge part.
Yeah,
but I was really excited to see him. I definitely really liked that movie. Yeah. It was a big surprise for me. I was not expecting to be as good, in my opinion, as it was.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. I saw a lot of people talking about it. I was honestly, I texted Destiny today and I was like, all right, I'm going to see what the hype is all about and everything. And I was sitting there and I was just having a good time with it. I will say my ears again, I'm fine with a lot of swearing too. Look at our vocabulary when we freaking do these streams. A-okay with it. But from a script standpoint, I'm like, do we really need this much, like,
the way I described it is like, it's like when kids learn how to cuss for the first time, they use it so much because they're like, fuck this, fuck that, because they just like learned what cussing was. Mm-hmm. And I also felt like, in a way, the script, like the dialogue was like, look how cool these people are. Look at all these references. Look at all the shit that they know, And like, I like that to an extent. Like I mentioned this in the stream last night, the Babysitter and the Babysitter 2 Killer Queen, they are the same way, to where they are written to like look at like how much like horror knowledge we know and stuff like that. And there's like a debate with like Pet Sematary 2 and Book of Shadows. And like I did like that. But it's just, it didn't feel organic. It just felt like, like that is the director and writer like in the script. They're like, that's me.
Correct.
So, but I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it definitely was. I again, going to be one I watch from here on out. It'll probably stay on my list for a while, and it's definitely going to be one that I show to some of my buddies who have not yet seen it for a fact. So just to get their reactions. This is like one of those movies, like when I introduce it to someone, I'm going to be like, just like watching their reactions, like more than actually the movie. But yeah, definitely very much enjoyed it. Okay, number 8. What's your number 8?
For my number 8, I have Christmas Evil, which I really enjoy this movie because, again, this is like a killer Santa. And I feel like with a good amount of these killer Santa movies, I feel like a lot of it stems from more of like a psychological sort of reasoning as to what they're doing, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Christmas Evil, even Don't Open Till Christmas, the one I mentioned earlier. That one's not a killer Santa, but it's a guy killing Santas. But then you learn why, and it all kind of stems back they're almost like all the same in a way, which I find really interesting for like Christmas horror movies. But Christmas Evil, you have this guy who's just like being pushed around constantly, and he witnesses something as a kid that has to do with Santa, and that sort of like he loves Christmas and like that's his thing, and he goes all out and stuff and works at like a toy factory and everything. And then he just kind of snaps, and then he starts killing people. But it's not like, almost in a way, it's not like he's just killing at random. It's more people who I don't want to say like deserve it, but in
Mhm.
his mind, they deserve it. So, sorry, Elvira's going crazy. But Christmas Evil, the ending does get a little bit weird. Like the very end gets a little bit out there, but I really like the movie. It's really interesting, and I watched that one last year for the first time. But yeah, I really like Christmas Evil.
Christmas. I'm gonna put that down. I haven't seen that one.
It might still be on Shudder.
Christmas Evil. Okay, cool. Numero 8 for me is Krampus. I actually very much enjoyed this movie. I know that it's like it's still newer. It came out in 2015. I mean, but I have always been a fan of like the German ghost story of Krampus. So like when the movie was coming out, I love Michael Dougherty as a director too. Obviously, everybody knows him from Trick or Treat. And eventually, I guarantee you when Trick or Treat 2 comes out, because he did say that was moving forward, that is going to be a big movie for horror fans, because it's got that, it's saying it has a cult following now. Now I wouldn't consider it a cult. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's surpassed that. You see Trick or Treat stuff all over Spirit Halloween,
Literally.
I feel like once it's so like merchandise is so readily available, it's past cult status. Same thing with
Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like it surpassed that. Like this is just a well-known movie, not just for like horror people, but just for people in general.
Yeah. For a fact. And I mean, like fucking Killer Clowns from Outer Space just had a maze at Halloween Horror Nights this year in Hollywood. So that movie's definitely surpassed cult status. Like that's not a cult following. That's like this is like actually a pop culture thing now. Same thing with Trick or Treat. So right now, honestly, I feel like if there's a time for a Trick or Treat sequel to come out, it's like now. It's like within the next couple years. Like that came out in 2007. When this comes out, it's going to be big, and I'm going to be definitely there to see it. But I do love Michael Dougherty. Krampus actually also had a maze at Halloween Horror Nights a couple of years ago. Didn't get to go for that one, but I would have liked to, because I would have been curious to see like what scenes they took from the movie. But I don't hate this. I feel like if there's like a good ghost story to tell kids, like obviously this was the big one in Germany. But I have fun with this movie. I watch it once each year, and I like the cast a lot. I mean, the cast alone is just worth watching this movie for. And Michael Dougherty as the director. It's got some stellar sequences, good frightening sequences too, especially towards the ending. So love this movie. Krampus is number 8 for me.
Nice. All right. My number 7, which I don't know the original title of it. I always just call it by this title, but it is called Dial Code Santa. This is a French Christmas horror movie.
Mm-hmm. What's it called again?
Dial Code Santa.
Dial Code or Co-Santa?
Code. Like
Code
boop,
Santa.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a French Christmas horror movie. Again, I watched this on the last drive-in last year for their Christmas special. And it's like about this guy who is like at this mall, and there's this sort of thing, how people can like write into Santa, but this is like electronic. That's why it's like Dial Code Santa, because he like is talking to Santa, but it's not Santa, it's this guy. And then he dresses up as Santa, and like he like paints his beard like with like Christmas, like that fake Christmas snow you can put on your windows and shit. He like uses that, and then he finds out where this little boy lives, and then shows up at his house. And this little boy is like Rambo in a way. Like he gets like his bandana on, and he's like ready to take down the Santa. And he has this like really old grandpa there that's like taking care of him and stuff. Like I really love the relationship between the little boy and his grandpa. I thought it was really cute because he's like doing his best to like help his grandpa and like try to hide him and like save him and stuff. But yeah, this is a movie I never see mentioned. I always try to bring it up during Christmas streams because I know it's like not as well known and stuff, and I only know about it because of the last drive-in. But Dial Code Santa,
Okay.
I really like it.
Cool. Dial Code Santa. Dial Code Santa. Cool. Number 7 for me is Black Christmas, the 2006 one. Love this movie. I think that we've already covered that this is definitely over the top during certain scenes, and this in a way is kind of like, I know that this came out a year before Rob Zombie's Halloween did, but this in a way is kind of like Rob Zombie's Halloween when it comes down to backstory, right? You have a character that you don't know much about, that's supposed to be mysterious, that you don't need a full backstory on. But Black Christmas 2006 decides that, no, we're going to give you a backstory about Billy. And the story is very insane. And like you were talking about, the Christmas cookie scene is so disturbing. Like, I almost like, because I haven't watched any of the behind the scenes or anything, it almost looks like it's like a very thick piece of beef jerky that he's just like sticking in like a glass of milk. And, but the whole thing is just so disturbing to watch. I love the eye peeking through the hole, like, as the girl's in the shower. That's very creepy. It's got really creepy vibes. Also, the movie is brutal. It is, and that's what I love about this movie. That's really the best element that this movie has going for me with this, because I don't hate the story, but the brutality in this movie and the just not giving a shit and going over the top is what I love about it. Like, I don't know why I love like the scene, even from the trailer, when the girl's like scraping off her car and then like you see something and then you just see the blood splat on the window. It's amazing. It's such a good scene. So, yeah, Black Christmas 2006, really like this movie. Yeah.
And another thing I didn't mention with the 2006 one, I really like when Christmas horror movies use Christmas stuff in their kills. And this movie is probably like one of the best when it comes to that, because there's like an ice skate that like scalps the girl. You have like an icicle that kills someone. You have the part which I think was in the trailer with I believe it was Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. She's like crawling under the house and then she like gets dragged out by like Christmas lights.
She does, yeah.
I really like when they use Christmas time things in a Christmas horror movie for the deaths. I think that's what makes it like a really fun sort of Christmas movie. So
right.
I really like that part. Okay. Number 6. My number 6, I have Better Watch Out. This movie has really good Christmas vibes. Definitely up there with the whole Christmas vibes because there's decorations everywhere. Feels like Christmas, even though it was like shot in like Australia where it was hot at the time, which is pretty interesting. And I really like the direction this movie goes in, because you think it's going one way and then it kind of like pulls a rug out from underneath you and it's like, no, it's actually this. And I won't go into too much because that kind of ruins the whole, part of the movie. But the death scenes in this, especially one, and if you've seen the movie, I think you know which one I'm talking about. It is so fucked up because it's something we've seen before and they really take it there because it's the whole running joke and like theory of Home Alone. And when you actually see it, it's like, oh fuck, that is so fucked up. But
you could tell us the kill. It's been out since 2016, so you could say it.
So yeah, it's the paint kill. The whole thing from Home Alone when he gets hit with the swinging paint can. They're like,
yeah.
I bet that could kill someone, and it fucking does. Because yeah, a heavy ass thing of paint coming down, swinging, fucking pretty much. It doesn't like take his head clean off, but it smashes his face completely in. And the mixing of like the blood and the yellow paint, looks so good because you don't see the full on impact, but you're like down at his feet. and you see the blood starting to like trickle in, which is so good.
Yeah.
But the main girl who was also in The Visit with Garrett from the movie, who was also in The Visit, they play brother and sister, so it's cool to see them in this movie together. But she does such a great job because it's just like she doesn't care. She takes the like lead whenever she needs to because she is like the babysitter, you know. But she really like steps up when it needs to happen,
Going
and
on,
I
man?
like her a lot. So better watch out. And it has Billy from Stranger Things in it for about 2 seconds, but
It does.
it
Yeah.
does. Dacre
It- I,
Montgomery.
I noticed it. Well, I noticed him when I was looking at the cast of that movie earlier because like it goes by like top rated cast, you know,
Yeah.
and he's obviously done a lot since then. So yeah, he was pretty high up there. And I was like, isn't he only in the movie like for a very short period of time?
He shows
But
up and dies.
right. But you know, still fun nonetheless. Actually, that was on my list, but then there was something that I placed that's a lot more fun in my opinion. And I'm a sucker for very fun like vibes, and so I don't know if anyone has ever seen Anna and the Apocalypse, but it is incredibly fun. It's a great it's like the zombie apocalypse Christmas movie. It's a musical, and I like certain musicals, but this one I again like the candy cane spike and everything that like she uses. I think that it's absolutely amazing. Ton of fun. I'm a sucker for anybody that can come up with a original zombie concept. And I feel like that this one, it like the zombie outbreak happens in like this little town, and it's like almost like they have to just band together and work together, and I love that. So and also the music in it is quite catchy and fun. So Anna and the Apocalypse definitely comes in that's my number 6. So
Nice. That one's been on my watch list for like ever. And I wanted to watch it before this stream and I just didn't get around to it. So I want to watch it before it leaves Shutter because I can imagine it'll probably leave after December because it was just added on there sort of like more recently. So I want to hurry up and watch that just because it's been on my watch list for probably like 2 years now.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Brandon actually here, I mean, Bretman says that it's very high on his list, but so this is the best way to think of it is think Shaun of the Dead meets like High School Musical at Christmas time. It's so good. it's really great. So Anna and the Apocalypse. I actually want to go watch that tonight now because it's a fun Christmas movie.
I'll watch it this weekend, definitely.
Yeah. All right, what are we in the top 5?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
My number 5 is A Nightmare Before Christmas. Matt and I just watched this on his channel not too long ago, and it was his like first time like fully watching it, which was really fun. This is one that I've watched since I was a kid. I love the musical moments. Again, musical. Sort. It's like it's a musical, but not a musical. You know, I feel like musicals. It's like a lot of times, like when they're talking, they're also like singing what's going on. But this, you know, just has like musical moments. But you have Jack Skellington and you have Sally, Bone Daddy himself, in Halloween Town. Well, Halloween. And then he finds Christmas. And so he wants to, you know, he's been like depressed. So he wants to bring Christmas to his town of Halloween, which is just really cool. And I love him trying to like figure out the formulas of like Christmas and Sandy Claus and what makes Christmas Christmas and like really try to capture that feeling of Christmas. And, you know, we both love Halloween. And I love Christmas. Those are my 2 favorite holidays. So when you have a movie that combines both, it's the best of both worlds. So
yeah,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I agree. Actually, this is going to blow your mind, but that's number 5 on my list too. So
what?
Nightmare Before Christmas, and Bretman is saying number 5. He's slamming the door, but no, it's number 5 on my list. I do very much enjoy this movie. I mean, this movie really did change the game for stop motion animation into what they were able to do with it. I mean, it's a great looking movie. I have the sing-along edition Blu-ray, so, you know, I love the music, the soundtrack. Obviously, This Is Halloween has become iconic to on every level. But also like the whole thing when he's singing, when he's dressed as Santa is amazing. The whole movie just is a lot of fun. And I again, like what's there not to like about, I very much like, who's the guy I showed you that Abby and I got this year, the head?
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name, but I love Oogie Boogie a lot. And the green candy bowl that we got this year is amazing. So I absolutely love it. Great movie. Number 5 on my list.
All right. Okay. My number 4, it's a little bit cheating because I have 2 movies, but in a way they could kind of be the same. I have Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2.
Okay.
I watched the second one I watched the second one before I watched the first one. And it's because the second one was shown on the last drive-in. And I believe that was around the same time, like the same sort of special, and they showed the original Black Christmas and when they did Jack Frost. So I think that was like the third movie. And I had already seen the kill count, so I knew that the second movie is like a 40-minute recap of the first one. So you really get like the best of both worlds. If you don't have time to watch the first one, you can watch the second one and watch 2 movies in one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like when you take out all of the first movie from the second movie, you're not left with a whole lot. But there's something about it. It's like a good movie that I like to watch to fall asleep to. And it's like nothing against the movie. It's not that it puts me to sleep. It's just something about it's like comforting in a weird way. And you have Ricky and Garbage Day. Come on. That is iconic. Even if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sure you've heard that reference before of Garbage Day and his eyebrows and,
Mm-hmm.
what's this? Like every delivery that Ricky gives is so fucking funny. I love it. And then with the original, again, you have sort of like a psychological aspect to the movie. Billy sees his parents get killed by a Santa, and obviously that fucks him up. And I really like this movie because I feel like sort of with Christmas Evil, you can really sympathize with the killer. Because like I feel so bad for Billy in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like him as a kid in the orphanage and dealing with that fucking lady, Mother something, whatever the fuck. She's Mother Superior. She's such a bitch. And she like is so rude. And it's like no one is like properly taking care of this kid's trauma besides that one nun that's there that like feels bad for him. So when he snaps, it's like, yeah, no one helped him out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I like this movie because besides the girl he had a crush on from the store, pretty much everyone, well, I don't want to say they deserve it. Like Linnea Quigley wasn't really doing anything bad per se. Neither was her boyfriend. They were just like fooling around and she was topless, so they have to die. But he's killing people in his mind that are naughty, which I really like that they use that aspect of naughty and nice in a horror movie. So yeah, I think both movies are a lot of fun. The second one, I think, is more fun in a bad way. And I think that the first one is actually made like pretty well and the effects hold up what we get to see now because they kind of like restored those effects that they cut out. And this movie was so controversial at the time and it came out the same year as Nightmare on Elm Street around the same time. And this one was making more money than A Nightmare on Elm Street until it got removed from theaters because you have a killer Santa, so people are losing their shit about it. So pretty cool, pretty controversial, and I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think that you hit it right on the head that, the second one, like, I don't like it as much as I do the first one. So, but it's certainly not as bad as 3, 4, and 5. So, like I don't really like them as they go past 2. I could tolerate 2, but as I said earlier, not huge on Silent Night, Deadly Night after the first one. But that, again, that's just my opinion. I understand this became a franchise. It became like, a thing, but yeah. Did you put those just back to back at number 4 or did you?
Yeah, they're like both my number 4.
Okay. Gotcha. I was just making sure you didn't do 4, 3, and then I got to do 2. So, Number 4 for me is Gremlins. I very much Gizmo, love that guy. This was on my top 10 winter movies last week too. But hey, I'm sorry, it's definitely more of a Christmas movie. The whole setting is around Christmas time, and I just think that this is a very fun movie. I don't know what there can be said about this film that nobody has said about it in the past, besides that, it's absolutely amazing, and the fact that I'm still waiting on Gremlins 3. I know that wasn't there like a Gremlins like rip that came out or something? I remember seeing something like that, but I don't know. I'm not really too sure. Maybe I'm crazy.
A Gremlins what?
Like there was like another Gremlins film that came out, but it was trash. Maybe it was on IMDb. It was on IMDb. I could be wrong though. I really could. Maybe it was like a fan film or something. I have no idea. But again, I know there's been 1 and 2, but I watch Gremlins every single year. I love this movie. So yeah, that is my number 4.
All right. My number 3 is P2, which this movie is definitely not talked about enough. And I actually watched this movie like when it first came out. My mom and I like rented it either like from like Redbox or like on like DirecTV itself, And my mom and I, like, she doesn't really watch a whole lot of horror movies, but this is like one of the ones we actually watched together. And it's just like a movie, even though I had seen it in around like 2007 or whatever, there's so much of the movie that like stuck with me. And I think the main girl, I believe her name is Rachel Nichols, because I know her from Criminal Minds. She's in a little bit of Criminal Minds. And I remember watching Criminal Minds and I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from P2. But this movie, it deals with like an obsession, like a stalker, and it's like on like Christmas Eve, and then she basically gets abducted. And it's really only focused on these 2 main people throughout like the whole movie, and they both do a really good job. Like he plays such a good job at like being just like a whiny asshole, because that's what he is, and she does such a good job at being like strong and trying to like one up him and like stay like smarter than him. And like even though the Christmas vibes, they're not like everywhere, they're really confined to like his like little office area. I really like the movie. I think it's really good, and now I'm starting to see more people talk about it, which makes me happy. Because I think it's underrated.
I have not seen P2, so I
It's
will
on Tubi.
Okay, I will need to. I've added that to my watch list. I'm pulling a note out of Destiny's book, everyone, and I'm writing down everything that I have not seen that is going on to my watch list. Oh, and thank you, Chad. I see a couple of you helping me out with the Gremlins 3 thing. It's because they've got the show coming out next year. They've got that like Mogul show coming out next year. I thought I saw something like that, so I knew I wasn't crazy, but it's not officially Gremlins 3. I did see that Gremlins 3 is still in development. It's been in development for a long time, though. Like, whether it's ever going to happen, not really sure. We're going to see. But, okay, number 3 for me, I'm going to pull a note out of the fan films. It's Me, Billy. I have watched this. I watched this last Christmas. It came out in May 2021. I've watched it 1 time this year. It's Me, Billy is written by Dave McRae and Bruce Dale, and also directed by the 2. Shout out to Dave. He's another great content YouTube creator. Great guy. Would love to have a chance to meet him in person at a convention eventually. But I think that this movie is absolutely a work of art when it comes down to fan films. This is... I feel like the way that a studio should have gone with the Black Christmas story. There's never been a sequel. So Dave's unofficial sequel is pretty much the only continuation that we have right now of Black Christmas. If you guys haven't seen it, it's streaming on YouTube right now. Highly recommend. They've got the Chapter 2 Indiegogo campaign opening sometime in the spring. But I definitely think that it's worthy. Very creepy. I mean, there's that scene when Sam is in the attic and she finds her friend. Very good homage to Black Christmas. Love that. But it genuinely actually frightened me when Billy's hand came down and like started caressing her hair. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so creepy. And yeah, great cinematography all around. It's Me, Billy has become one of those that I watch every single year. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's worth your time for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad at myself. I did not even think to put that on the list because it would have definitely been on there. Because, like you said, it's well shot. Like they put a lot of attention into like the way the film is shot and the way it's lit, and like the usage of like the colorful Christmas lights up in like the attic is so good. And
The
you know,
twist. The twist at the end is what gets me every time, and I'm curious to see how they're now going to continue that story. I didn't even think of that, honestly, like when I was watching it. So sorry to cut you off, but the twist at the end is amazing.
yeah, and like the movie, besides, you know, obviously Billy, it's really just confined to these three girls that are staying, you know, at this house at like the grandma's like old house and stuff. But the kills that we get are so good and I think are so effective, especially one, which is such a good callback to the original. Whenever I first watched it, I was like, oh my God, like it looks so good. Yeah, it's not on my list, but it is on my list because I said so. It's definitely worth the time. Like I remember that day it was premiered because I was like waiting. I woke up early. It was a little bit cold. I was so excited. I had all the lights off. I was like watching it on my phone, and it definitely like lived up to the hype. And like
Yeah.
the way it again, like the way it ends, it's like what the fuck.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't. They couldn't say anything about that. They can't be like it ends on a cliffhanger. Like you don't want to say that. So everyone was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
So I do hope it gets made. You know, I know Dave is saying like, you know, it's not official that they're making it. Obviously, they have to like raise the money for it and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope there will be a second one. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure there will be. I hope there is because I do think it was well acted, directed. It looks great, and it feels so cold. Like it feels so cold. And like you said, this is the only actual sequel to Black Christmas because we got a remake and then we got like a movie called Black Christmas. It's not really
Yeah.
Black Christmas, but this is like the only actual sequel, and it does it so well. So
Right. And I mean, like so to answer two questions, Antanas says, what was the name of the movie you guys mentioned earlier where a kid gets killed? That's Christmas Bloody Christmas, currently on Shudder. Head on over, check it out. It's worth your time. I'm getting bombarded with these freaking sex bots right now, man. Like I blocked this person 3 times already and it's like still coming through. So
69mega.com.
it's saying that I can't block them.
It says it's blocked right here.
Okay, there we go. I put him in timeout. There we go. And then Brettman says, sorry, Braden, It's Me, Billy is the best fan film I've ever seen. Hey, dude, that it truly is though. Like I mean, it really is. Like I'm saying that too. Like I mean, but they also had they had the budget to get like all of the professional equipment and stuff. Like ours, like we just made for a relatively low budget. I'm happy. I'm not happy with how mine turned out, but I mean, when you look at It's Me, Billy, and you look at the Haddonfield Nightmare, there is a clear difference, and I'm not even going to lie about that. There's a clear difference in the production quality, So, I mean, the movies exist, and it got done, and I'm happy about that. But It's Me, Billy, it really is a different level of like a fan film. It's I mean, and I thought Never Hike in the Snow was good, and then It's Me, Billy came, and I'm like, no, this is the best fan film that is currently on YouTube of any property. So I really do. I am excited to see how this ends, how their conclusion, because again, this is going to be the first real conclusion that we have to a Black Christmas story. So definitely excited to see what they have in store. I know that he's like neck deep in the script and getting stuff ready for that. So It's Me, Billy, number 3.
All right. My number 2 is Gremlins. Like you said earlier, like Gremlins is just like such a fun, because there's like I would say A Nightmare Before Christmas, Krampus even, and then Gremlins. Like those are really good, like family friendly sort of horror, like it doesn't get too crazy like the original script wanted. The original script was supposed to be really dark, and I'm glad that they didn't go that way because this movie is just like such like a feel good sort of movie, and it's really cute. And Gizmo, oh my god, is so adorable. And then you have Stripe, like the bad version of like Gizmo and all the rules that it sets up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that. And I think isn't his name Billy as well in Gremlins? Like the main guy, is his name Billy?
Actually, here I have it pulled up right now. It is Billy, yeah.
All right, Billy. What is it with Billy and Christmases, But yeah, Billy and you have Gizmo. I really enjoyed them together. I think it's so great. You have Phoebe Cates with her fucking fucked up story about her dad dying in the chimney, where she just like gives this like little monologue like out of nowhere because she just like she doesn't like Christmas, and then you find out why. It's like, okay, yeah, like I understand why you don't like Christmas. But it's just such a fun, cute movie. I need to watch this like during Christmas because I watched it for the first time when it was like summertime, which it kind of made me feel like disoriented a little bit, watching such
Mm-hmm.
like a cold movie with it being so hot. So now is like the perfect time, obviously, to watch it. And yeah, Gremlins is just such a cute little movie. So cute. And
Yeah.
also, anyone that says that Gremlins is not a Christmas movie, because I have seen people say that, what are you talking about? That just makes no sense.
It is.
It 100% is, but I have
Clear
seen
as
people
day.
say it's not. And I'm like,
Clear as day.
what do
Christmas
you
movie.
mean? He's a Christmas present. Gizmo's a literal Christmas present. But yeah, Gremlins, cute, cute movie. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 for me, Black Christmas, the original, 1974. Think that this movie really did set the stage for what? What happened?
That's your number 2?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Number 2.
continue.
No, it's okay. I was like, wait, what happened? Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm curious to know your number 1 now.
So Black Christmas, 1974. Oh, my number 1, I'll explain when we get there. But yeah. So this movie set the stage for, a lot that followed it. Even John Carpenter has said that he's referenced this movie when he was creating Michael Myers and the mystique of a character, because a lot of people don't realize that this came out 4 years prior to Halloween. And yeah, I think that this movie just has a very stellar Christmas atmosphere. The mystery of who Billy is like incredibly just like when they have all the attic shots of like him being in the attic, or when he when he's like, Agnes, it's me, Billy, and like the camera pans over and the eye gave me nightmares as a kid. It was so scary. Like, but yeah, this movie is great. I love it. Great slasher movie. I like how got Olivia Hussey's character. What the hell is her? I can't think of her name right now. I always forget her name.
Jess Bradford.
Jess Bradford. Thank you very much. But Jess, I like how her boyfriend is like, he's
Peter.
sketchy as hell. Yeah, he is sketchy. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, it was it's quite good. So Black Christmas 1974 is my numero dos when it comes down to Christmas horror films.
My number 1 is Black Christmas 74. And then here I will throw in It's Me Billy. I can find a place to put it in there. So Black Christmas / It's Me Billy. Like you said, Black Christmas really did sort of like set a template for like slasher movies, especially because I hadn't seen Black Christmas until I watched it on the last drive-in. So it would have been a couple of years ago. And I grew up watching Halloween. And then whenever I watched Black Christmas, I was like, okay, yeah, I can really see where like you can get like all these vibes from Black Christmas, but you put into Halloween. Like you have the POV shot at the very beginning, and like that's so unsettling. And I think this movie is so effective, especially if you watch it all the lights off. Like those phone calls are so disturbing because it's like, oh my god. And the fact, like the way they did it and had so many different voices, like kind of overlaying, and the fact that like I don't think it's ever came out like who plays Billy from Black Christmas, and I really like that because we don't need to know. It kind of like adds to it. And like you said, the eyeball, like it doesn't look like a normal eyeball. It's like a reddish brown, orangey color. Like it just does not
Yeah.
look normal. And I really like that. All the characters are so good because they feel like lived in. And I feel like that's what's missing in a lot of like not even just like horror movies, but just like newer movies in general. There's something so realistic about watching characters from like 70s and even 80s, even though like a lot of 80s, they're sort of like characters of like people. But I guess it's because now when we watch horror movies, a lot of these movies we can recognize people that we know. But like at the time, a lot of these people weren't super well known. Like I know like Olivia Hussey, she was in like Romeo and Juliet, and then what's her name? What is Barb? But the lady that plays her. I cannot
What
remember off the top of my head.
for well, let's look because I know that would I know it bothers me, so I'm sure it bothers a lot of other people too. Let's
Yeah,
take a look.
I know like as soon as you're gonna say, I'm like, yeah, of course.
Wow, I put black mess.
That was close.
It was
But
close.
like
We're close.
there's something about like 70s characters and even like 80s characters that like it doesn't feel superficial. Like they just look like normal people. And I feel like that adds like such a scariness to it because like they're not pristine and perfect. They just look like regular people you would see in everyday life. And I think that just adds like a creepiness like level to it because it could be literally anyone. This could happen to anyone.
Yeah,
And
it's Margaret Kitters who plays
thank
Barb.
you.
Yeah.
I'm so mad for not remembering her because like I love Barb in the movie. She says some fucked up stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's one line that she says, and it's so fucked up. But I like it plays in my head all the time. And she says you can't rape a townie. That's so fucking messed up, Barb. Like why would you say that? But the characters feel real. And like this movie was kind of like progressive for its time, even though Bob Clark said like he really wasn't going for that with the whole like abortion situation. Like he wasn't really trying to say anything, but he does. And it reminds me of like Night of the Living Dead. You know, like George Romero wasn't trying to say anything, but when you watch it, you can't help but see that, you know? And I feel like it's the same for this. Like it was just like a plot point, but it really is effective. And even like watching it in fucking 2022, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
things have really changed and not for the better.
I will say
But
the Blu-ray and like how it looks on streaming right now. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, I feel like that they like the Blu-ray collector's editions, like they do a really good job at revamping the quality and like upping that sound because it really does like, you know, it's still effective today. And I
yeah,
mean,
it's so unsettling. And it's like you said, it's like the mystique and not ever fully seeing Billy and just seeing like little parts of him. You don't know what he like actually looks like. And I love that. And like the kills, even though they are pretty like, I would say tame, like it's not overly bloody and stuff like that. But the one kill with like the unicorn, that
mhm.
is so good. Like the editing looks so great. And I've seen so many movies try to replicate that sort of same editing style while someone's being killed. And then like the ending, you really don't know what happens in the end. And I like that, you know, even though after someone dies, there's always a phone call and we don't really know what happens to Jess. And then there's a phone call. I really like that
Mhm.
because they think it was Peter, which, yeah, Peter was an asshole and he was sketchy as fuck. But it was not Peter, and we know that it's not Peter. Like we know this is not him. So I like that it kind of leaves it open ended in a way, which you know, and it's me, Billy. It kind of throws something in there. But yeah, Black Christmas. I think Black Christmas is amazing, and it's definitely become one of my favorite slasher movies just from watching it a couple of times. It's just so well done.
For a fact. For I just gotta say hi to the slaughtered lamb. What's going on, guys? Darren, Frank, whichever one of you is in here, welcome. Glad to have you guys in here and joining in. Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, Destiny, with Black Christmas. Obviously it's a classic. So but I mean, and Brett, man, don't be mad at me when I say this, because him and we talked about this when it came down to, is it horror? Is it more action? Is it this or that? My number one, and it's going to be my favorite Christmas movie for a long time, my favorite violent Christmas movie is Violent Night.
Okay. I thought you were gonna fucking say Die Hard. I'm like, that is not even horror, dude.
No.
Okay,
no.
Violent Night. Okay.
It is Violent Night. I absolutely love this movie. I actually would say I adore it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I consider it horror to the degree of these are mercenaries breaking into this family's house to steal stuff. It's definitely got a lot of comedy in it, but hey, Happy Death Day is a comedy, but it's also got the horror elements to it, right? This movie, in a way, I feel like can be the same way. I mean, it's violent as hell. Some of the kills in this movie are the best that I've seen in a Christmas horror film. Some of them are very creative, the way that they go about it. I'm not going to spoil it for you, Destiny, because I know you haven't seen it yet. But David Harbour as Santa is easily the best on-screen version of a Santa Claus that I've seen in a long time. And I just think he is a badass. I would not mind seeing this man reprise his role as Santa in, future movies. Now, obviously, they would have to change up some stuff, right? But nonetheless, this movie is an absolute freaking blast of a film. I'm going to be watching it every single year. I will be watching it outside of Christmas time. I'm not going to lie. But it was one of the biggest surprises of the year, that's for sure. Because earlier this year, had no idea this was coming out. Saw the poster in September. I was like, that looks kind of interesting. In a way, I thought it was going to be, I told you this, I thought it was going to be a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, just with David Harbour now as Santa Claus, or an adult version of Billy. I was like, okay, so I was curious to see how they were going to handle it. And boy, did this movie surprise the hell out of me. I went in for a good time, and I just left with the biggest smile on my face. I was like, worth every penny to see. So yeah, that is my number one, and I didn't expect to leave the year with a new favorite Christmas horror movie, or not really horror, but still, it's a great time. It's violent enough for it to be considered within the genre and everything, but it is an absolute blast. So yeah, absolutely love this film. So guys, that is our top 10 Christmas horror films, and to a degree, some action that we watch throughout the holiday season. So make sure you guys drop your guys' list either in the chat or in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys watch throughout the holiday season. And if you have any non-Christmas horror movies that you guys watch too, or not non-Christmas, if you have any non-horror Christmas movies that you guys watch too, just let us know what you guys watch throughout the holidays. And I hope you guys are, having a great season, and we're getting close to being done. We're getting close to the madness being over. Yeah, Destiny, do you have anything else coming up this week, or are you pretty much done for the holidays?
Done. I am done.
Done for the holidays. Alrighty. I'm pretty much the exact same way. I have 2 reviews I have to do for those filmmakers that I said I would get reviews out for. So I definitely am excited to talk about those, because I think one is coming out next Friday. It'll be on YouTube. And the other one, I believe, is on a festival run right now. But it's interesting, that's for sure. So that's what I got coming out, and then I'll be done for the week. I'll probably have those out on Friday morning, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, post comments down below. Let us know, what do you guys think of Christmas horror? I'm curious to hear what your guys' lists are. So leave comments in the comment section. We'd absolutely love to read them. And as always, if you guys like this, don't forget to join this channel on its journey to 15,000 subscribers, and we will see you guys next week post-holiday season on the Fear Freaks podcast. Have a great night, guys, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, all of that.